What's up? What's up? What's up? We are Down South Sports Fanatics. Thank you for everybody for joining us. Man, it's going to be a great show. We're going to recap the show throughout the night. We're also going to come bring on some of our other guest hosts throughout the night. They're going to do their thing, man. But look, without further ado, I got my man in the house, the coach himself. What's up, Coach D?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show as we try out our new platform to bring y'all the best that we can bring y'all.
Absolutely, man. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. So listen, Darren, we'll talk about a little bit. We'll go back and forth. But let's talk. Let's wait for the other guys to come in to kind of recap it. But I did want to get your opinion on the whole quarterback situation. Why you think the Saints didn't move up to get a quarterback? What was their thoughts on that?
Well, from what I was told by insiders, they liked Shuck from the beginning. They liked his intangibles. Yes, he is going to be, I think, 26 when season kicks off, but um, they like his interviewing. They like the way he throws. He is tough. He's 6'5". He runs like a 4.6. The interview, I think, is what really did it. Like a lot of these, so I just found out this from a good friend of mine who's a scout. He said, they'll put like your worst play up and say, like, can you explain this to me? They want to see how you react to it. They're gonna ask you the weirdest questions, like, are you attracted to your mom? Is your dad a sexual? Like, they do stuff to try to bring out the worst in you to see what you could, you know, what you can handle. Like some of these questions are really crazy. A friend of mine, Jeff Sanchez, he played for Tulane. He went to the NFL.
What's up,
He
Stacy? What's up, y'all? What's up over at Big Easy Mafia? What's
so
up, Allison? Sorry, D. Go ahead, brother.
no, you good. Keep it up, baby. I can't see those.
I'll put it.
If
I
they,
can do it. Look, I got it for you, brother. I got
I'm
you.
just
Go ahead.
saying, if
You
they
get that.
comment, I can't see it. But
We got it.
so
You
that's
got it
what it
there.
is.
Can you see it now?
Let's see. No, man, I can't. I see you tag Big Easy Mafia, tag Big Easy Mafia. That's all I see
Yeah.
for.
All
That's all
right.
good though.
Go ahead.
But overall, I'll give the Saints. I'm gonna give us a C in this draft. I'm gonna give us a C overall.
I gave him a B plus because I kind of the thing is the what ifs with the guys that a few guys that are injured. I think they would have went higher in
Hmm.
the draft. And you sometimes you hit on that hard, man. Because listen, Banks, who they had ranked very high in this draft, only slipped because of the few Nixon injuries that he had. If it wasn't for that, this cat played phenomenal in the SEC, Dig.
I mean, he did win, the offensive lineman award of the year. The thing that I don't get is we need to try to take a page from Philly. Philly they like to get these guys too, but they wait till late in the rounds. They pick their studs in the beginning, and they wait till
Yep.
late in the round to get there. But anybody who understands the Saints understands that Mickey Loomis has never, ever, ever traded back. We would trade
Nope.
up, but he's never traded back in his entire career. And if y'all don't believe me, tell me one time he did out there Facebook land, and I will send you a shirt personally.
It's true, bro. You're not lying. Look, you're telling the truth, man.
Well,
Uh,
speaking of that, Richie, we need to, I told the audience, and I'm gonna stick to my word. I need to
yep.
find out who shared our draft, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick a name, not just pick a name. I'm gonna write it down on a piece of paper, one through whatever, and we're gonna have a random pick.
We definitely need to do that, man. I think people would appreciate that, especially our followers and stuff like that. The way things have been going, we
I,
got to
I know
feel
we
good.
still new at this. Does it look better when I turn it sideways?
Yes, always better, brother. Always. Yep. Sideways, sideways, sideways.
I don't know how that really looks on the phone, but okay. It
It's
don't
all right. It looks the same. It looks the same. So
Nah, it don't
listen,
look the same for me though. Y'all gotta bear with us, man. We still learning this, man.
it's all right. We got to learn it ourselves, man. I like it's always better, but
So
don't worry
what
about that.
so I gotta ask you a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I know my opinion on it. What do you think about the cat that we picked up, the running back? Devin Neal, I want to say his name is.
What up, Shawanda? What up, James? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? All these people over on TikTok, over on Big Easy Mafia, man. I'm checking them
What's
out.
up, everybody? How y'all doing?
What you got? What you said, D?
How do you like our pick for the running back position? Devin Neal, I want to say his name is, played for
Devin
Kansas.
Neal. When I was gonna get Darren. I was gonna get Dave in here. He was gonna give us an in depth on him. So when Dave comes in, maybe we can ask him.
Well,
What's up, Randy?
me
Thank
and you
y'all for
could talk
joining us.
about this right now because
What up, Andrew?
I have my opinion on it. I mean, the kid was
Go
supposed to be
ahead.
a top one. He's supposed to be a top 100 pick. He slid down, and we got him. If you watch him run, watch him catch the ball at the backfield. I want y'all to tell me who he reminds y'all of. I'm gonna give you a little hint. He plays for the Saints right now.
Yep. You gonna
He
give
is
us?
the best running back the Saints ever had. So if y'all don't know who that is, then y'all need to go ahead and y'all can go ahead and get away. This is a Saints podcast tonight.
I thought they would have went earlier with a cornerback. What's your thoughts on that?
You know, I think we are right at corner. We
What's
got a
up,
couple people.
Menard?
We got a couple that played really good last year.
What's
Um,
up, Courtney?
hey Randy, listen, you are 100% right. He a steal in the draft. He does have Reggie Bush intangibles. I think he's more of AK. If you watch him run, he runs so fluid. Like you're like, dude, why don't this dude just run? Uh,
Yeah.
Kenny, Kenny Benoit, what's up, brother? What are you putting question
What's
marks for?
up, Kenny? How y'all doing out there? Make sure to
Um,
share and like the link, y'all.
but anyway, I really like this kid, man. I can't wait to see him play. But my favorite pick of the whole draft. Y'all ready?
Who is it?
Danny Stuntsman, man,
Corn
linebacker from Oklahoma.
linebacker from the Oklahoma Sooners. What's your thoughts? Give us a little detail on him.
Man, look, if y'all go watch his social media, dude is a wildcat, man. He made a big play against one of the teams where it was he made a hit and it was a fumble and they got it. And he put under in captions, and this is what he said. He said, "I'm just like Confession. I'm the cracker with the juice." What? Bro, I like it, man. I like it.
You like it a lot, huh?
What you mean? Yeah, dude, he's really good at the run. Uh, yes, that's right, Randy. Randy's on the money today. Listen, he can. Every time they sent him that I seen, and I just watch his highlights because that, of course. But listen, he gets there when they send him, and
Yep.
he knows how to run stop. He will fill the gap, man. He does now. Listen, he does tackle a little bit high.
Yeah.
We talked about that earlier today. He does tackle a little bit high, but listen, a good coach is going to lower his pad level. Because you can't tackle high. I mean, you're going to really try to tackle Derrick Henry high, he'll get run slap over.
True, you're right about that, man. Listen, I know you said you gave him a C plus.
I gave him a C,
Okay. Is it
flat
because of
C.
is it because maybe of where guys are drafted at? Big?
I mean, listen, I think they had better quarterbacks on the board that we could have got at 40.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say no, I'm not talking about Shador before that even comes out. I'm not
Yep.
talking about him. So because of his interviews, it was listen, they talking. I mean, I like Shador. I think he's a good player. He's a little bit undersized. He doesn't always make the best decisions. He doesn't have the
Yeah.
biggest arm. So he doesn't have. I don't know how he's going to be in the NFL. He's got to really work with a good quarterback coach. But
Yeah.
I gave him a C for that because I really think that they had a couple other. I really liked Will Howard, man. I
You
mean, I like Will Howard, man. I really do. If you
I
go
thought
watch
I
him,
thought they was gonna try to go for him, but listen, when they went second in the second round and got Chuck, that was it right there. So I mean, so maybe you kind of say they could have waited later.
yeah, man, Shuck would have been there in the third. I think what the Saints do wrong is we always a pick ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is if you're picking at 40 and then when we picked 49 or whatever we picked a couple picks later. We could have got somebody else at 40 and Chuck would have still been there because nobody was on Chuck's board. You had Shador left, you had Will Howard left, you had
What's
Quinn
up,
left.
Oil Man? What up, Ryan?
Oh, what up, Ryan? That's my buddy, man. Hey, I'm glad you
Yeah.
introduced me and Ryan, man. Ryan's a good guy, man. Welcome, Ryan. But
Welcome him. He's coming
man,
on throughout the season. He's
hey, I
coming
tell you
on.
what, Ryan. Hey, Ryan, you need to message me. I need a new Allman hat. Got my Drake on today, though.
I'm still trying to get one.
I already got one, bro. You crazy? You know I'm a hat guy, though.
I know that. I get it. Look,
Allman says Shador is not polished. A lot to learn. Yes, he's got a lot to learn, and I'm not talking about with his throwing motion or anything like that. His reading isn't the best, but he needs to learn. It needs to learn his attitude. He's got to learn how to pipe that down some.
yeah.
Because I mean, I'm telling you, if you go watch and you listen to some of the GMs, they saying his draft interview was one of the worst ever. He told one team, "Oh well, yeah, I'm not your guy," and walked out.
Did he really?
Really? Yeah. He told one of the teams, "Well, I guess I'm not the guy for you," and walked out because they had, like I said earlier, they put one of the what's up snack. They put some of your worst plays up. And they want to see what you did wrong. They want to see if you know what you did wrong because they already watched this play 100 times. You get what I'm saying?
What up, Snacky Snack?
If I watch a defensive play, one play 100 times, I'm gonna know what everybody did right, everybody did wrong. But they only
Correct.
watch it. They only watch it Shador. You get what
Well,
I mean?
listen, the microscope was on him since the last game he played, and
Hey, that was a hell
people
of a shot on the
and
day
and,
ball.
and
Lord, that was a shot, man. So, man, how you doing? Yeah, I'm cooling, man. Sorry
And
about that,
you know,
yo. They
that's
got the
okay.
pool
Listen,
championship today.
once again, everybody, we are Down South Sports Fanatics, sponsored by Big Easy Mafia. If you're wondering, yes, we are now officially live on Big Easy Mafia, Down South, YouTube, all of them, man. Hold on, we got to bring another one in. We're gonna introduce y'all to everybody tonight. A couple of regulars are coming in here too. You know, we got to do that.
Yep.
We
Hey,
got to
but you
bring
know
him
what?
in.
Hey,
There he is. There he
there's
is.
my dude. That's my brother right there. What's up, Coach Shane?
What's going on, baby? What's going on with y'all? How y'all doing tonight?
Good, man.
And
We loving this new platform, bro. We can't, it's like, what?
hey, bro, we talking about the Saints, but since you won, we're gonna go ahead and give props to your Raiders with the pick that you wanted. What do you give your Raiders an overall grade this draft season?
Well,
He's like, what?
I had to
No,
plug
he
the
no
phone
he
in.
he heard
So,
me. He's trying to get adjusted.
well, I thought about it a lot after the draft and everything. I really I really feel like the Raiders should get an A. I really do. You know, it's been it's one of the things like we needed a huge pick.
Yep.
And I think we got that with Genty. Now I'm gonna tell you
Definitely.
One of my favorite picks was Jake Besh. That kid is amazing. I think he's going to be a huge part of the wide receiver group going forward. It gives Geno a big target, but I love him for what he does off the field. You know what I mean? He's a great kid, a kid with
Where you
great
see him playing
character.
at though, he really played tight end for LSU, and then he went to wherever he played tight end. You already know y'all probably got the best tight end in the league right now, in my opinion.
No, and I would agree. For him, I think he's got a true wide receiver one body. But we
He
also
does.
brought
He does.
in the Texas wide receiver. I think he's from Texas. But the wide receiver that we also brought in, 6'5", 4.3 40 speed. He could play the outside. So it can go a lot of different ways. But overall, I like just having the ability to move guys around. Now with him being playing and being familiar with the tight end spot, you know that gives you the ability to run a lot of those double tight end sets. And when you got to Ashton Genty in the backfield, those double tight end sets, they become open a lot because the defense at that point, they're thinking run.
True. So true, man.
Hey, here's the question. All right, I'm a defensive coach, but I'm gonna ask you this because I already been
Yep.
thinking about this. All right. So you got Besh, Genty, and you got the monster on the other side, right?
Yep.
So that's you coming out in a double tight end set. Your linebackers, we usually run the 4-2-5 is usually that's regular defense in the NFL, I would say, 4-2-5, right? What you gonna do? What you gonna
Well,
do? Like I don't understand because you're not gonna have a safety come down and cover either one of your tight ends. That's
right.
a mismatch, especially inside the 20. And then what's gonna happen if they decide to flare them both out? What your linebackers are going out for a pass coverage, and then Genty's gonna eat your ass alive.
True.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. Let me turn this sideways so I get full view. All right. But that's the thing about it. Um, it just gives you
What's up,
options.
Lamont?
it gives you a lot of options. And one of the best things you can have in the football world is options. When you come out there, it gives you the ability to see what the defense is giving you. So you can either roll with it or you can motion these guys around and do different things to get the matchups that you want. And I think that, that was a big key to it. And then, later in the draft, we drafted a couple tackles. And I think that's going to go, overlooked for the most part because of the players that we brought in. But, I really like what the Raiders did in this draft, man. I think they set themselves up for the future. And they gave Geno the weapons to be successful.
I was about to say, isn't Geno y'all number one?
Yeah.
People got to understand. I mean, unless they live on the rock, Geno can run.
Well, he can
Geno
run.
can run.
Yeah.
The one thing about it is he was actually, according to PFF, he was the 12th ranked quarterback last year. So 12 out of 32 is not bad.
Right, but bro, listen, that's just another weapon inside the red zone. I'm thinking defensive mind. When we talk,
yeah.
I'm a defensive guy. I'm thinking, okay, what the hell are you gonna do now? You send Genty out to the flat. You already got Besh clearing out the linebacker. Listen, what you gonna do if everybody does that? The middle's gonna open.
No, 100%.
And Geno's coming up the middle.
100%, and it can happen. The biggest thing for me is what has been the most successful seasons for Pete Carroll, and it's always been not the quarterback, the running back.
Yep.
Always.
And putting Genty back there, I really feel, man, like holy crap, it's a match made in heaven between him and Pete Carroll. Now, we have a lot to worry about within the division. I mean, heck, man, I don't know if we've ever seen 4 head coaches on this level in one division. You know what I mean? You got Andy
Not
Reid.
to my knowledge.
Yeah, Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, and now Pete Carroll. Like that's insane.
So they all champions, right? Ain't they all won a ring, right?
Except for Jim.
Oh, he lost, right?
Yeah, he lost twice to his brother.
But he made it. But he's talking about that's the experience of the Super Bowl, right? So
look, he took a team with Colin Kaepernick to the Super Bowl. So yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's when the lights went out in the dome, right?
Yeah, the lights went out in New Orleans instead of Georgia.
What's up, Jason?
Oh man. Yeah. So listen, Shane, you said you were a big football guy. I gave him a C. Richie said, what you said, a B plus, Richie?
Yeah.
That's our grade for the Saints. What's up, Duck? That's our grade for the Saints draft. I gave him a C. Only because I really like the steal of Neal and I really like Stuntsman. Always think the Saints are one pick ahead of themselves. Like they picked Shuck at 40. I think they could have got somebody else and got Shuck with the later round of the third. You get what I'm saying? Or the later round of the second or whatever it is. I think they always jump it. They get paranoid, in other words.
Yeah, I think so. The thing is with the Tyler Shaw or Shuck pitch, it threw me off. If you're going to take that quarterback at that point in the second round, I think you address other needs, and that's where I think the Saints went wrong there. I don't mind the first pick. They needed an offensive lineman. Yeah, he's hurt and stuff like that. But listen, we're talking about somebody that you project and want to be in the organization for 10 plus years. And if that's the case, then okay, you got the guy that you wanted. And that's the part that as looking at the Saints, I think they could have went somewhere else. But they needed help on that line. They really did. So they went and got that guy, and like I said, the biggest problem I have, the biggest problem that I have with the Saints draft, man, is just taking the QB they took in the second round. Like, I mean, I really feel like they're going to be looking for another quarterback in next year's draft. Why take that pick there? And instead of that, bring in, because they had some stud defensive linemen still.
Are you saying that because of his age or just because of the talent?
I think it all has to go into it. You know what I mean? He's not young. You know what I mean? He's 25, about to be 26. And, you really look at it and look at the career that he had in college. Does he have some good NFL qualities? Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Does he have bad NFL qualities? Yeah,
What's
he
up,
does.
Dave? Thank you for joining us.
You know,
Listen, y'all joining our podcast right now, Big Easy Mafia, Down South Sports Fanatics. Make sure to comment in the comment section and give us your thoughts on the draft today. Go ahead, Shane. I'm
World
sorry.
famous Michelle said hi to everybody.
Hello.
yeah,
Oh
man. It's
man, but
I just think the Saints could have addressed some bigger needs. You know what I mean,
What up,
especially with
Mark?
certain picks. And also, it like I said, I don't have a problem with the first round pick that they had, but I think their smarter move would have been to, trade out of the pick, fall back, gain picks. Like because having the what they had, the number 9 pick or number 10 pick.
number
Um,
9. We had
yeah,
9.
number 9. At that pick, you literally can pick up an extra second rounder or a couple extra third rounders. You look at what the Cleveland Browns did by moving back 2 spots. They gained a first next year and still got a guy that they want. So, it's
Hey
I think the
Shane, you want
Saints
to know
could
a
have been
fact?
smarter. What?
You want to know a fact is Mickey Loomis has never in his career
Traded?
traded back.
Right.
Never. You
It's
think he's
always
got
been forward.
31 he got like 31 trade ups or whatever it is,
Yep.
0 back. But here's the deal. How many people really wanted Banks? They really was looking at after I always eat this kid's name up. Mimbo. After Mimbo, they were looking at the kid from Alabama. So Banks was like 4th on people's chart because of
Yep.
him being hurt. So they really could have traded 9, went back to maybe 12. Depending on how much, I mean, if you got a team in the 20s trying to trade up, they might trade you a 1
But
because they want their
That's what
guy.
I'm saying.
here's what people aren't understanding about Banks, and I get what they said. They could have moved
Yeah,
back.
Tallman.
They could
Yes.
have moved back and got different draft, got more assets and stuff like that and draft picks. But here's the deal. Banks in the SEC in the last 2 years has given up 1 sack and 5 quarterback pressures. And that's going against guys that were drafted, especially in Atlanta, Jalen Walker. Jalen Walker had 0 quarterback pressures against this guy in 2 years.
No, he had a sack.
No, he did not.
Atlanta
Not
already.
against him. Not against
Yeah,
him, Darren.
Atlanta already put it, bro. They got a big old meme that's out there that he
That's
got 1 sack on him.
100% false. I seen exactly what you seen. It's false. It's 100% false.
But here's what I gotta say. I'm not saying that the pick wasn't good. I like the pick. I'm saying if they go from 9 to 13 or 14, they gain more draft capital, like Shane said, and Banks is still gonna be there because the next lineman that they wanted to take was the kid from Alabama.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, I think if they trade back, I think they could probably go as far back as 18 and still get him. I think around that range, And if they do that, they potentially pick up a first rounder or a first
What's
round
up,
pick,
Joanne? What's up, Richard? What's up,
or
Ed? What's up, Lisa?
at
Sorry, Shane.
least
I'm just saying shout out
no,
to all you people at Big Easy Mafia.
no, you're good. But I think they at least pick up, a second rounder. And then look, if you have 2 twos, then you can take a shot on a Tyler Shaw if you want to. But having the 1, it's very tricky. I just think it was kind of a head scratcher of why you didn't field some calls there because I don't care what nobody says. People are always looking to trade up in the draft. So,
Yep.
if you call and make the calls, maybe it doesn't even have to include a pick. Maybe you bring in a player,
See, now
and
you're
you look at
talking.
things like that, So it's a lot. It's different things that we can look at for the Saints. But the biggest thing about the draft is, and I mean this with everything in me, we don't really know what the grade on this draft is for at least another 2-3 years.
2 years, right? At least 2
And then
years,
you
right?
look back on it and you say, well, hey, they aced it. They got that offensive lineman. He's a stud. If it
Yep.
turns out to be that way, there's no questions asked.
Well, you remember what
But
happened last year? ESPN gave us a C when we took. I'm not even saying his name because I'm gonna eat it alive. I wish Dave was here. Dave's my guy that answers the name for me. The offensive lineman that the Saints took last year, I was high on him from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm the one who picked us to pick him.
Funga.
Yeah, what you just said. But anyway, they gave us a C. If you watch this kid play this year, if he's not an A, he's an A minus.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they don't. We don't. You're right, Shane. We don't know. I mean, look at Tom Brady. When was he picked?
6th
Whether you
round.
hate him, whether you hate him or you love him, Tom Brady is one of the greatest quarterbacks, if not the greatest quarterback to ever play at this moment. I think that Pat's gonna probably take that over, but we'll see about that because Brady never got blown out in the Super Bowl before.
Yeah,
So
good point. Good point. Yeah, very, very
just
good.
Well, like I said, right now
What's
my
up, Teddy?
grade for
What's
the
up, Jessica? What's up? Stay safe.
Saints would be for their draft. I would give them a C right now, just
that's what I
based off
gave him.
not trading back and then the
Mhm.
second round pick.
What's up,
But
Kevin?
they still had
Andre,
some
what's
good picks
up?
in there. They did, and it's I mean it's we'll just have to see. We'll have to see how it pans out for these guys.
I
Hey,
mean,
look,
look.
what we doing? Waiting on Dave for a little bit. Dave's coming on.
Yeah, Dave's coming a little bit. Dave, yeah, Dave, our other co-host is coming on soon, y'all. The voice of reason, the voice.
All right, cool. So I want to give a shout out to somebody, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to give our shout out actually to our own Coach Shane, bro. He doesn't get enough appreciation, man, for what he's doing for the Beavers, man. The man plays the role of every hat.
Well, Dan, won't
I'm
you
talking
explain
about
what
from
you
the
two what?
GM. I'm talking about from the GM on down. No, not taking nothing away from CJ because I know his hands are full too. But man, so the Beavers, man, that's a team that Shane brought me on. I'm the defensive line coach for the Beavers. We have a very, very good staff, but we have an underrated staff because they didn't like the fact that we have zero professional coaches.
Yeah,
But the problem that I have with that is they're incorrect because the minute you sign a professional contract, what do you become? You become a professional. So
yes.
yeah, we don't have the big names like they have. But listen, I think that we have the roster to compete with anybody at our level. And I think our coaching staff is solid. But Shane's the one that keeps it all together. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how he does it because I'm just seeing the messages on one part, and I'm like, dude, I'm turning this shit off. I turned GroupMe off, and because I
Yeah,
mean it dings and it bings, and I was in the call with him, Richie, for 30 minutes. I said, Shane, let me see your phone, bro. I'm about to turn that shit off for 3 minutes. 30
Well,
minutes,
well,
bro. It was back to back to back to back. That's how he said, hey, hey, Sean. Oh, hey, let me call you back. That's CJ calling me. CJ, yeah, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah, blah.
Well,
Hey, let
listen.
me call you back. That's Mickey calling me.
Let me properly introduce these two guys, man. They not only are very good friends of mine, they also coaches of a semi-pro football team. Correct? I'm making sure I'm saying it right.
professional now.
Professional,
Professional
bro.
football team.
Yes.
Excuse me. So they're
Yeah,
very knowledgeable. So listen, stick with them. We got several people on this show. We got another guy, Pancho, the hard truth. He ain't on here. We got Dave Robin, the voice of reason, to be coming on a little bit. So we'll dive into it. Listen, guys, let's spin it around a little bit. What was this? What was? I mean, I should have asked what was the surprise of the draft because I think the whole nation knows what the surprise.
well, just touching on that right quick because I know that's where what you're thinking. For me, it wasn't really a surprise. When it comes to Shedeur, if you look at some of the things that he did, I thought that he would go in the first round. But the reason I thought he was going to go in the first round was because the simple fact that the NFL is quarterback driven.
Yep.
So every year we see it every single time in the draft, they're overpriced as far as value in the draft. So I thought
Yep.
he would go in the first round there. But the thing is, if you look at what he does, he holds the ball way too long. Can't do that in the NFL. He steps out of the pocket instead of stepping up into the pocket. And you look at the fact that, yeah, he had a Heisman Trophy winner on his team at receiver. I mean, I think that did I think it would go to the fifth? No, I didn't. Absolutely not. I had a low third, fourth grade on him, but you know, where he was taken, I think the biggest thing with it is for him and for the Browns, it's a very low risk, high reward. You're not really losing anything by using a fifth round pick. And if it turns out he's an absolute stud, then it's a banger of a pick. It really is.
So, Coach, Oilman just said Milroe falling so far was a surprise. You agree with that?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think Milroe went where around where he should have gone in the draft. Now, look, I'm a believer in Milroe. I'm gonna tell you that now. I met the young man, and he's about as big as Derrick Henry and runs a 4.3. The second he was drafted in the NFL draft the other night, he became the fastest player in the NFL at quarterback. Faster than Lamar, faster than all these other guys. He is the fastest quarterback in the league. And, Milroe's got very, very high upside. And I think him going
Hold on,
to
you said he's
Seattle,
faster than Lamar?
yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah,
That's good.
and he's built like Henry. I mean, it's
Yeah.
insane. When I met him, man, I shook his hand, standing next to him. He's an absolute brick house. Like, it's insane.
Got big
Um,
ass hands too.
oh man, he can be a stud, man. And I'm telling you, you look at Milroe. A lot of people say Milroe can't pass well and all this stuff. Go back and watch the first half of that Georgia game. Tell me the man can't pass. But the thing is, he goes to Seattle now.
Yeah.
And he's going to be behind a quarterback who was also a first-round draft pick, and a lot of people labeled as a bust until
Yep.
last year with Minnesota. So he's going to be able to go there and learn so much from somebody who's gone through all the negatives and everything like that, and was able to bounce back, last year. And I really think that's going to do a tremendous amount for his career. I really do.
Darren, you want to comment on that last comment? The Jordan that's tragic, man. Jordan Davis announcing his retirement.
Jordan Travis.
Jordan Travis. I'm sorry, Jordan Travis. That's tragic, man. I tell you that's why. Listen, I'll let you comment, but I just want to say something right quick. People wonder why these kids want to get paid from the NI deals and all that, because you never know. This man gave his heart out on that field for this college program, and he can't fulfill his dream. What's your thoughts, Darren?
I mean, listen, man, it's really sad, but you got to remember something. Before the NIL deal, most people don't know about this. Shane's probably gonna know because he's a little bit more, around the college. But they have like a player insurance if you're a big pick. If you're gonna be a big pick, they got like a player insurance if he does get hurt. But man, listen, it's not about the money, man. You got to remember something. These kids live and breathe football. They bust their ass all year long to get to the NFL. He gets hurt, a game or two before the end of his career in college. Might have been his last game.
Yeah.
And now, he's done. His leg won't rehab. And this is the reason why I get pissed off, but I understand the reason, even though I still get mad about it. For bowl games. That's why these kids sit out of bowl games. Because are you really all right? Say you're getting $2 million and then in name, image, likeness, NIL deal,
Yeah.
right? You're getting $2 million. Put you a top 10 pick. You go get hurt. You're gonna get your money from the little insurance, but a top 10 pick, you're talking about what? I think the top 10 pick is like 4.5 to
Yeah.
5.2 million a year. So now you just missed out on 4 years at just go with 4 million. That's $16 million you made too. And you got
Yep.
hurt because you wanted to play in a bowl game that they threw a goddamn orange at you for the Orange Bowl or something. I ain't talking about the playoffs. I'm talking about a regular bowl game.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Go ahead.
And touching on Jordan Travis, man, I hate to see that he retired, but I'm glad he did it on his terms. You know what I'm saying? He got picked. He went to a team. He stayed there for a full season, and then he did his retirement. I think it was more of a personal thing that, hey, I accomplished my goal. I made it. But the thing is, you look back at Jordan Travis, and before the injury, he was projected as a easy first-round pick.
Yeah, he was like top 15, huh?
Yeah, it was. He was hot.
Honestly, Shane, I think Florida State wins the national championship if he stays healthy.
If Jordan Travis stays healthy, Florida State is a very good bet. I'll put it like that because everybody can have an off game, but he's a very good bet to win the national championship. They had the defense. They had the skills.
Joined us. Angela Hill, what's up?
Let's see what Brandon says. Brandon says, "What do y'all think about Dylan?"
Angela Hill is a great Saints fan, man.
Hey, Shane, can you see the comments?
I can't see the comments, but I seen that one, the one that you're about to talk about, the one from Brandon. That was a great. Hey, that's a great comment. For me, I was kind of surprised by that. You know what I mean? I thought that Shedeur would go before Dillon Gabriel, and then even more surprising, they both go to the same team. That was surprising to me. They both went to the Browns.
But kudos to them, though. That's what I'm trying to say about the Saints. The Saints would have flipped it. Like they knew that they kind of knew that once the Saints picked the quarterback, they really only had a couple of teams that was looking at him. The Steelers, the Saints,
and Steelers weren't even looking at him. Steelers weren't even looking at him.
And even when they did right, but they got their quarterback.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So then you was down to 2 teams, even if they didn't have 3 teams.
Well, what I'm saying is Steelers didn't even draft a quarterback. They weren't even now after the draft it comes out. Steelers were not even looking at a quarterback in this draft because they viewed them all as backups. So they weren't even going to draft them.
They
Oh,
they
they
drafted
did.
Will Howard, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take it back. That's my fault. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
they
you get
look
what
at
I'm
these guys
saying.
like,
So
okay,
I mean, yeah,
you
that's
know,
true, man. But I mean, like, I wish the Saints would learn, man. I really think we one pick, Shane. We pulling the trigger a little bit too early, man. I really feel
100%.
that, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
It
That's what I was
pisses me
getting at
off, but I
before.
mean, that's what it is. And I don't know, I don't know how Dylan Gabriel and Shador can both have a good career because right now one of them is going to be the backup. So, I mean, you could be a
They're
career
both going to be the
backup
backup.
like wait, who's going to be that starter?
Well, they got 5 guys up there right now, but I don't think either one of them's going to start over Kenny Pickett.
Oh yeah, Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett has some solid games, and then it seems like he's the
Yeah.
worst quarterback in the
Wait,
NFL.
wait. We talking about Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think he had much to do with that Super Bowl.
No, man. But look, I think Kenny Pickett has, they got to give him the reins before they give it to those 2 guys. I think that what's sad about it is I think that one of those 2 guys is going to end up getting released, in my opinion. I believe it. Just because they've got Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett,
Yep.
Shador Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel. You got to release somebody.
Shane,
So here's a question
Shane,
for you, Shane.
read that comment, Darren. That's a good comment.
It says, I have to say, I'm thrilled this draft was ordered in defensive players. Ryan Clark of ESPN said this is the most defensive player stacked draft in modern times. I mean, you
You
could
agree
see it
with
in the
that,
first
Coach?
round. Absolutely.
100%, I agree with it. You look at how many edges they had, like the number 18th ranked edge in the draft, and I mean, he any other year, I think he's probably a first round pick.
Yep.
It was crazy.
And so what I was going to ask you is this, getting back to Shador and Dylan Gabriel. Do you think Shador was a publicity stunt to get people's asses back in the seats in Cleveland? Because they've been having a lot of negative stuff. So this kind of took them from the negative stuff to kind of maybe getting people in the seats, getting a little bit more jersey sales. You get what I mean by that? Is this
No,
a
I
stunt?
understand. I understand completely. The one thing I can say is, and I don't think that, to answer the question, I don't think so, because the one thing I constantly remind people of is it's not about the seats, because look, Cleveland, as bad as they are, they've got a fan base.
Yeah.
They are loyal to that team no matter if they're 0-16 or 16-0,
They
or
are
17,
the
whatever now.
dog
But
pound.
yeah, but the thing is, you always got to remind yourself of who makes the final call on players and stuff like that, and it's the billionaire guy up there writing the checks. He doesn't give a crap about any of that hoopla and all that other stuff. Are you going to be a team player, a good teammate, high character, come in here, work your tail off, and earn this check that I'm going to be writing you? That's what he cares about.
Great point
and
there. Great point. Great point, Shane. It's
yeah,
so true, man. All these guys live their dream out, man, by getting drafted that day, and that's really what it's all about, man. You know
yeah.
this. I know you got some humble kids that are gonna play in the NFL one day, and they just glad just to get drafted. It don't matter where it's at.
Oh, 100%, man, 100%. You look at some of these guys that went in the 6th and 7th round. You know what I mean, from these really small schools and stuff, man. What an absolute amazing moment for these guys. It literally made every single thing, every 2 a day, every 3 a day practice they've ever done. It made it worth it. And now you have a ton of guys that are undrafted free agents out there. I mean, does Isaiah Bond get picked up, and by who? Because Isaiah Bond was, former Alabama, went to Texas. I mean, he was a stud, and before all the stuff come out against him, he was a projected first rounder. I think whoever brings him in is going to get an amazing guy, because I think the biggest thing for these young men is they realize and see just how important those draft interviews are, and all that type of stuff. That was the one thing that stood out to me the most when it came to Shador, was what Brian Daboll and the Giants said about how bad his interview was.
Yeah.
You are interviewing for a job. You're not going to go to an interview and basically run the show. You know what I mean? I do what I want. I'm not looking at this tape and all this other stuff. You're not getting the job.
Is that what the
So
reports was that he was doing, Shane? Is that the reports coming
So
out?
Brian Dayball had gave him some homework to do, and before coming into the interview, and wanted to go over some film stuff with him, and he didn't even look at the homework stuff that he gave him. He told him I didn't look at it, I didn't watch it. So it's like, dude, you were interviewing for an NFL job. You literally could have.
And
Could have
that's
took
what
him.
I mean, and that's what I was telling Dave. People don't realize this. We got a comment for you, Darren. By the way, I want to just finish this real quick.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say, Shane, to Dave earlier off the camera. The problem is, I think Shedeur had a little bit of entitlement because of who he was. He's never really earned it. You look at a guy in Cam Ward who went #1 overall, never was a 5-star athlete at no point of his career, had to earn everything he did. And I guarantee you, if Brian Daboll gave him the same homework to do, he would have did it.
100%, 100%.
And that's the difference.
Look, and I'm gonna tell you like this: at least Jamarcus Russell was smart enough to come in and say, "Hey, look, I just got to get picked #1. Once I do that, I'm set for life."
Correct.
You know what I mean? So, and he did that much at least. He waited till he got to the team to show up fat, out of weight, and out of shape, and
comment for you,
that
my
stuff.
brother.
Hey, Richie, by the way, Cam Ward, even though he went first, he did do like 5 interviews, and the Giants was one of the teams. So he did his homework, man, because nothing came out bad about that kid. So,
Thank you for saying that, D. Go ahead, D. Comments for you, brother.
Darren Burner, which game have you circled for as the game of the year for the Saints? I think everyone in the South will see a big improvement.
Well, we had the schedule has to come out. The schedule comes out, I think it is May 12th. I think it
Look,
is.
I don't give a shit about the schedule. When it says the Falcons, the Panthers, or the Buccaneers, that is the biggest game. People don't understand. Like, listen, the other games count, yes, but that is your biggest. Like, you have to win your division. You win your division, you good. So that's the biggest game of the year. I'm not going to say we play the Raiders. Oh, that's the biggest game of the year. That might be the biggest game of the year for me and Shane to talk shit to each other. You get what I'm saying? And we go tailgate. Rest in peace, Mr. Tony, who we went tailgated by. But that might be the biggest game for us. Or if the Chiefs are playing, we could talk a little bit of smack or something. But the biggest game for us is our division. The biggest game for Shane's team is that division. Your division is the biggest game. There's just, if you have a division, that's the biggest game, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys a question. Yep. And this comes down to in the division. Where do you guys rank the Buccaneers offense now that they brought in Emeka was it Egbuka?
Yeah,
Egbuka.
That's why I actually wanted the Saints to try to get him, man, late, but it didn't happen. I tell you what, you make a great point there. Darren, I don't know about you, but I tell you what, that receiver room in Tampa is stacked.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, don't take away from Bucky Irvin and Rachaad White back there in the backfield neither.
Yeah, I mean,
one of them's probably gonna go though, I'm thinking, huh?
Ooh, no, they all on the contract.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I know that, but I'm saying, see, someone here said the Panthers F themselves with their first pick, but I disagree. He's a Mike Evans player. Brandon, they definitely screwed himself. Listen, go watch the tape on McMillan. Go watch the whole tape on. Don't watch his highlights. Go watch the tape. Anytime he played a little school, this dude shined like nobody's business. But as soon as he played a big school,
what's up,
with somebody who's somebody's a 2 or 3, somebody's a 2 or 3 star, he didn't do shit against big schools, man. I was glad the Panthers picked McMillan because I didn't have to worry about the Saints pick him. So if you watch the draft, you would know I was excited. Let's see. Somebody says the Bucks, Falcons, Panthers, and the Saints. I agree with you here, but I think the Saints and the Panthers are fighting for the third. Okay, and I mean, but it is the division. But I think you're right there. Bucks, Falcons, Saints, and Panthers are right there. I agree.
I'm gonna tell you, I think the Panthers are gonna finish in second. I really do.
Whoa.
Yeah. Ahead of the Falcons.
They're gonna finish at second?
Yeah, I think the Panthers are gonna finish in second. And a lot of the reason why I say this is just hear me out when I say this. If we still get the Bryce Young from the first half of the season, they're probably going to finish 4th. But once he got benched and then he came back, you look at what they did and then the emergence of Chuba Hubbard back there in the backfield, and they still got Stewart back there backing him up. But Bryce Young came in and really, really made an impact. Now you bring in McMillan. Okay, McMillan doesn't have to be your one
No.
because you still got who was it? Xavier Legette. He really
Yep.
came on towards the end of the season. The Panthers were in a ton of games in the second half of the season. They really were. And I really think Bryce still takes that step forward. And I think that I really feel like they could finish second. Now the Saints, I just feel like the Saints are going to finish last, but that's it could be totally different. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen,
But
it's close, bro. That's
definitely,
what I think. I think we last, man, or maybe fight for third. But then yet again, look, like last year, we did a live show at the Brass Monkey. If the pass interference gets called like it's supposed to, the Saints win the game against Atlanta easily. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying? It was a big time, pass
Listen,
interference that didn't get called again.
here's my opinion. I'm not being a homer. And listen, y'all the coaches. I'm never gonna look. I'm always gonna steer towards y'all opinion. I am. That's the respect I have for y'all. But in all honesty, Shane, as you being a coach, Darren as a coach, to me, like what Darren just said, if all things are equal, which is not in the NFL because injuries, but if the Saints can stay fairly healthy and keep their core intact, I think the Saints are right there in the mix with everybody.
my opinion on that is it's hard to stay healthy when you
You're
have
old.
such a high age.
Yeah, you're old. I mean,
Defensive players are so old. There's going to be injuries. It's almost inevitable. And that's why I think the Saints still fall under that window. Also, the quarterback play. I'm not a believer in Rattler. I don't see it in him. I don't.
me
I
neither.
mean, if I'm the Saints, I probably put Taysom Hill at quarterback and say, look, just do what you want to do.
I mean,
And
listen, he was 7-2 as a starter, Shane. I don't understand what the problem is. Like, where the hell did we not think 7-2 is good? If any team, if your Raiders start off 7-2, you popping bubbles.
yeah, I'm pissed
I'm
because
saying,
they
like, I
put
don't
on a bad
understand,
spot.
man. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are too old, but Taysom Hill coming back is a big deal to the Saints. But listen, I can't remember this wide receiver's name. He's a big kid, 6'5". The Saints had him. He got hurt. Listen, him coming back, everybody's like, oh, the Saints need a big receiver. He's coming back. He's not hurt no more. Damn it, what the hell is his name, man? Oh, man. And remember something, we do have a new coach who has elevated every quarterback that he's coached. So maybe Shuck can give us a decent year this year. And if not, listen, put Rattler in, buy him out. Hopefully Arch comes out. If not, take Nussmeier.
So
Well,
true.
I'm gonna be real, and I've said it on this podcast before. My pick to win the Heisman Trophy championship, the Heisman Trophy next year, is Isaiah Simmons from Ole Miss. Isaiah Simmons.
He's a beast.
Remember that name and watch the kid play. Isaiah Simmons.
What's the ranks on that? What's the line on that, Shane? We might have to do something.
No,
We'll
I
have to
don't know,
do it.
but
I'm gonna go check the
we.
line when we get off.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but yeah,
If it's big, we'll put 10 apiece on it, and hey, we'll go with it.
Yeah.
I think you got. Listen, I think the SEC has 3 top horses right now. If you think about right now. I mean, it's too early Heisman list. That's what I like to call that. Because you got the guy you like, you got to put Arch up there. Now listen, Nussmeier was like what, number 2 in passing yards in the SEC last year? Maybe 1? Close,
He was up
whatever it
there.
was. Right. So I mean, look, he's got another year in, and everybody knows the last year for an LSU quarterback, you see, it's kind of a trend we've been having going lately.
So true, y'all. So true.
Second year starter, but I know you're a Florida fan, and give a shout out to them Gators, man. We had a hell of a softball series this weekend. I know you don't pay too much attention to it, but dude, y'all bust our ass clean up Friday. We got y'all the next 2 games, but it was too great, man. Look, that's always a great game, man.
It is.
I'm gonna tell you, man, the Florida Gators. I'm just glad because for looking forward to football. DJ Lagway being at the helm, for the whole season, and
thank God, huh?
Yeah, I think we got a shot to really make some noise Now I don't know if it's going to be enough to really matter, but I mean, DJ Lagway he's undefeated as a starter. So
Yeah.
Bro, we was on the phone that day. It was like, why they took this kid out? Remember, he did good right at the end of the first half, and then
Yeah.
the starter came back and went back in the game, and y'all end up, I think, losing that game by a field goal. We was on the phone that day. I was like, what the hell are you doing, man? I like
yeah,
SEC schools, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
Once again, hey, go ahead, Shane. I'm sorry, go
True,
ahead.
true to it, man. I'm one of those guys, and we've said it plenty of times. If LSU's in the championship game, I don't care about being a Florida fan, and I want to beat LSU when we play LSU. I want LSU to win when they're in the championship, though. I want Georgia to win when they're in the championship. Alabama
That's
too.
right.
I want it to come back to the SEC.
See,
I
bro,
don't
that's kind of
care.
you kind of hurt me with the A word just now, man.
Well, hey, look, but I'm just being real. If
No,
Alabama's
that's true.
playing
I do
Ohio
too,
State,
man.
to hell with Ohio State. You know
Yeah,
what I
I'm with
mean?
that
That's
too.
just how I feel.
Yeah.
And that's the way I root for our conference, man. Because if one team wins it, then our conference is strengthened, and we're pulling in the best players still.
Yeah. Once
Hey, put
again,
that comment
everybody,
up for Shane.
hey, once again, this is the Down South Sports Fanatic sponsored by Big Easy Mafia. We are their official podcast provider. We are on here every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Please join us and like and share the link, everybody. Fellas, listen, we're gonna get out of here, but I do want to thank y'all, for joining me on such notice. We did this new platform. It worked out pretty good. Y'all can't see it, but I see the numbers, man. It was a lot of new people in here that I really want to thanks for joining us. And I'm gonna go back and share it with everybody too. And I'll give y'all the exact numbers once everything's dialed back in.
No, I love it, man. I think it's smoother, and definitely give a shout out to Big Easy Mafia, for having us on and stuff like that. And as well as you, Richie, man, everything that you do with it and stuff, man, you put a lot of work in with it too, man. And look,
Yep.
it's a great time.
Thank you, man.
Definitely, fellas.
And listen, we're gonna be out throughout the season. We're gonna be doing it for the Beavers too. We're gonna share it on here, man. Listen, we want to keep everybody in tune. I even want to do a couple of games over there by y'all, man. Do a couple of pre games over there before the games. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Hey,
for
y'all
sure,
stay
man.
on real quick. We're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna end the live stream, but I do want to thank everybody. Who that? Any last words, fellas?
Hey, go Beavers.
You know that's right.
I just want to tell y'all, Ashton Jeanty is going to be Rookie of the Year. So
Yep, that's gonna be my